lads, here I'd like to talk about my reasons for going and getting defense and why I didn't stay as a pure, because initially I planned to basically make a maxed pure just to see what it was all about. I'd never done it before and I wanted to kind of start afresh and try it, but I didn't even get halfway, and before I knew it, there I was killing black drags with long range. Within 5 seconds I was a member of Sorex's 2 Defense Pride crew. No, but in reality, I didn't quest it. And people are like, did you quest your defense? And I click my quest tab, and there we have sitting 11 quest points. And I'm like, clearly not, mate. And they're like, oh, you ruined it. You haven't done a good job there. You knew. And, you know, it's not the end of the world. And I may influence a few people here who hate questing to actually get defense, because you do not need it. Although it will help, yes. I don't think it's a necessity, especially as a ranger. However, if you're, you know, getting defense as a berserker or whatever you're aiming for, it is kind of vital. But for rangers, no, I don't think it's, you know, really important. But anyways, I just want to say a huge thanks for the support on my first PK vid that I uploaded yesterday. Now I'm aware there's a couple of people not too happy with some of the clips. I was there with Protect Melee, rushing with a dark bow. It's not exactly, you know, the definition of honour. But let me point this out. You haven't spent a full week of pest control before. I must have done around 40 hours at that place. And that's not an exaggeration. I got my first set, I lost that within 24 hours, so I didn't get me word out of that. And, you know, people lose Void and don't go back for a month. I was there the next day, and I was hammering away at it, getting Void again. It was lost through no fault of my own. As you know, you can pick it up on the 07 service, you can go back for it, but you ain't going to pick it up if you're getting DDoSed, and I'll talk about this later on. But before I delve into the important stuff, let's talk about April Fool's Day, which wasn't long ago. YouTube was crammed with people making videos that were basically not true. However many people fell for these, I really don't know. Mine was the Freaky Forester. But let me tell you something now. I was actually, on that day, I thought I'd been hacked. And this is what went through my mind. I woke up on April Fool's Day. When you wake up, guys, you don't care. You don't even know what day it is. Never mind what day of the month. So I wake up. Next minute, first thing I do is check my YouTube before I start breakfast. And I quickly logged on Runescape, something I don't usually do. It says, your account is already logged in. So I'm like, it's not logged in. So I try it again. I think it's like an error. Sometimes you can get an error, like connecting to server or whatever. I'm logged in. I turn around, my brother's there. I'm like, I've been hacked. I genuinely thought I'd been hacked. I said, am I online? And he checked. I was online. I said, message him right away. So my brother's there typing away to this guy. Tell you, the precious building, guys, I'm thinking, me bank's going to be gone. And how am I going to explain this to everyone? I can't make a video on April Fool's saying I've been hacked. Everyone will be like, oh, great, April Fool's, Wildy. But this felt to me like real. Like, loads of things were going through my head. Go back to my computer. I log on the RuneScape, like the login homepage. I managed to get on, so they hadn't changed my password, although it is harder to change these days. Turn back around to say to my brother, has he replied? What's he said? And he just goes to me, April Fools. He opens up another tab. Who's logged in that tab? My brother played the perfect April Fools. I legitimately thought I'd been hacked. It was gone. And I just thought, how am I going to explain it to people? But anyways, that was quite a long story. Longer than I expected. But you don't get a story often. So count yourself lucky. Why did I get defense? Guys, here's the deal. I was there for the most of my time killing monsters like the Black Drags, Black Demons, Lesser Demons, and even Steel Drags. So as a pure, you haven't got a great amount of range bonus behind you. So I thought to myself, why later? Why not get it now? If I had this DI body, increase range bonus, make me more accurate, hit more often, which means kill these faster, and you're going to be getting better XP. I didn't even think about Void at this point, but that's another factor to include there. Not only that, although 1 to 40 defense gets you around 10 combat levels, some people don't think it's worth it. But not only that, when you go PKing, you will notice the difference. With being a pure, I wasn't really pulling off many combos, wasn't consistent with the Carol's crossbow. As soon as I got defense, I felt like I gained about 5 to 10 range levels. I'm not just exaggerating that. I was doing like 20, 19, and I hadn't seen hits like this before. Also, the better magic bonus from Mystic is worth a mention. I had a guy yesterday, prime example, he was a pure, and he was trying to cast a teleblock on me. And he used all his teleblock runes trying to land one. He didn't land one in the end, he ended up running. He ran off because he said, if you're not teleblocked, there's no point. And this guy was like 99 range. He was a good, he had good stats, but what was letting him down? The magic bonus. I was in this D-hide It's just unstoppable. It's all about the plus to minus magic bonus ratio, whatever. That's why people like Curse and Iron, because the low magic bonus you never hit. And that was it was kind of the same scenario for him. It was just impossible. So that was another reason for me. Now as well, I can access, runers. There's guys like 70 odd combat, even now early, 80s that I can attack, risk and rune, rather than, being a pure when I could only kill people for like pure stuff. So I've not only bettered myself killing monsters, also killing players. I've had no trouble where I thought my account is crap compared to this guy. And this is what someone told me. They said, don't get defense, Willie. You'll ruin your account. I did it. I was a pure, got defense, my account was ruined. Essentially, guys, you cannot ruin an account. Don't get me wrong, there's certain builds that at a certain combat will work better. That is just fact. But if you're a guy who enjoys Slayer most of the time and just wants to PK now and again, who's like a really high level, because mains sometimes think they can't PK because they do all this other stuff, but you can. Unless you're out of range of everyone else, then essentially you're not ruined. You're always going to find a target that will be weaker than you. There's always going to be one guy in the fight that's going to be stronger, essentially. But then it could rely on a bit of luck from the hits. But the point I'm making here, you cannot ruin an account. A final point to mention is Full Void, which I didn't even think about, honestly, till I got 40 defense, and I thought 2 more defense levels, I can wear Full Void, which you need to look at the bonuses that this actually gives you, the increase of hits. I went from hitting a 20 with a Carol's crossbow to a 25. That is the difference that Void does. Not only with that, you've got the dark bow. It's completely overpowered, and people forget that this is 07. Right? Years ago, the dark bow dominated. You had like Lord Makeup, he was like the big guy. Bounty Hunter Russian videos, they were classics, lads. This guy, that's all he did, and he made money from it. It was entertaining, and that's why I got Void and got the 2 extra defense levels, because even if I do lose it, it's only 2 defense levels after all. So not only is it great for PKing, not only is it overpowered, also great for training, faster. Not only that, you can run back and you can pick it up. The only time you can't run back and pick it up is if you get DDoS, like I did. I was live streaming, I had 1,800 people watching. Not only was I shaking like a leaf because I was risking this Void, but I thought the pressure of these people, I couldn't zone out of this. So I was actually in D-high PKing, and they all talked me into getting me Void out the bank. So I did, and I started to PKing with it. And this was the first death I died with this Void. This was the very first set that I got. I've still got a set now, lads. I've basically no life to another 20 hours, because that's how long it does take you. But this first set, what do? I die, right? So right away, I'm on Switch here. To all these people, I start running back. I get as far as Lumbridge. In Lumbridge Castle, you got the stairs to go up. I was going up to the bank to get me glory, to Telly Black, and pick all that up. Pick up that life that was on the floor that I had spent getting it. What happens? I get DDoSed right at the stairs. My net goes offline for 2 hours. To be honest, I was more probably pissed off the fact my net was off for 2 hours. I wouldn't mind, yeah, you win, mate, you've knocked me off for a minute, fair enough. But it knocked me off for 2 hours, and I was sitting there staring at me bloody router, waiting for the light to come back on. But then obviously when I logged back in, my Void was gone, and I couldn't get it back. That's the thing, guys. You've got to be very careful. I actually nearly got a random event. I'll show the clip on screen now. I died PKing with Void, and as I'm running back to get it, I get a random event. I was so lucky. Really, I was lucky that it wasn't the maze. If that would have been the maze, I would have done it in under 10% to get that Void back. You don't realise until you lose Void, and it's on the floor in Edgeville, and you know it. The pressure that you're under. So yeah, that was that one, guys. Unfortunately, I did lose my first set, but I was determined, and if you don't get it done now, it's never going to get done. But I've at least got my Void back. Hopefully it stays that way, and it's great. It'll be great for training. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you want to drop a like, you can, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.